A book that really struck me years ago was written by Wayne Rollins, and the title was Jung and the Bible. And Wayne went through very meticulously the work of Carl Jung and looked at how it was that it might be related to interpreting and understanding biblical texts. And it's a good fit because Jung himself was uh, the product of a family of preachers. His father was a Lutheran pastor, and I think his grandfather was as well. And so he was just steeped in this world of the Bible. And he himself wrote a bit about that. It's not all located in one place. You have to kind of go through his materials and find uh, where they are, but very interesting work. And it's related to really many of the themes that Jung was looking at. If you take, for example, the process of individuation, you can trace that process through some of the biblical characters. So, for example, if you look at the figure of Jacob in the book of Genesis and the adventures that he goes through, they really follow the lines of that process of individuation, that he comes up to being faced with insurmountable problems. It is the feminine voice that draws him. He's engaged to the daughter of Laban, and uh, that leads him to develop his skills as a lamb trader, as a sheep trader. And ultimately, you see sort of the culmination of his process in that episode of wrestling God by the banks of the river. He meets this dark stranger, and he knows he just has to wrestle this figure, and he wrestles him to a standstill. And in the process is then given a new name, and that's his transformation has been accomplished, and his individuation is complete. So there you see images like that. The Bible is full of images of transformation, of uh, depth, of uh, uh, lots of the things that Jung talked about. And so Jung can be a very useful resource for looking at the Bible and for allowing it to unfold in some new ways, in some depth ways. There are some ways in which Jung can be problematic. And one of the things, there was an interview with Jung at which he said, one of the things for which I am grateful is that I am Jung and not a Jungian. And what that suggests to me is that he was able to grow beyond the Jung he had been. And what's happened now is, since he is no longer with us, he's not been able to grow past that Jung. But there are others who have, like James Hillman, who have been able to expand on the directions and the trajectories that that Jung took, and find new ways of applying his thoughts that are more contemporary and more useful for today.